Oops, no, no, not that. Oops. Ah. Oh. Also, I don't know what I'm going to be hunting today. Because Sentret is no longer one of the hordes. I guess aren't the outbreaks. What are the outbreaks? Ooh, Spinnerack. Tandemaus. Shanks. What else? Is that it? Spinnerack. Why not? Blue spider. Now let me actually get... God freaking dang it. Hey. Posting on Twitter, going live is gross. Cause the people that liked it were bots. With the self-acclaimed graphics artists. Ew. And let me get the counter up. No, we're not editing that. We're editing this. Edit. 0. Really should be doing Magnemite, though, in Gen 2, but I don't feel like pulling out the DS capture card right now. Also, I feel good about streaming right now, just because oh, ew, it's here? No. Really? Here? No. I don't want to do it here. Really quickly set up picnic. This is gonna be fun. I'm assuming it's just a nighttime, right? It's just nighttime. It's probably just nighttime. Okay. Well, let's go to Shinx then instead. Little Shinx, we're coming for you. So, let me actually... I have the Spinnerack sprite saved at least, so that's saved. So, Shinx. Gonna get the yellow boy. Ba 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 da ba ba da. Ba ba da ba da ba ba da ba da ba. Hi, Huntress. Hope you're doing well. Climbing this mountain just to go to Shinx that's halfway across the area? Absolutely. Don't really actually care to complete the DLC. I just care about shiny hunting. Because another thing is, I really could care less about, like, Ogerpon. It's, eh. Oni's Mountain. But, like, Ogerpon's okay, and it's just... The DLC seems like it's just gonna... Oh, oops. Getting unlit charcoal and the ashes are going into my Oh, that sucks. That's not good. I'm sorry to hear that. I hope that your feet starts feeling better. Oh, there's Tandemaus here. I don't wanna hunt that. It would be a nice one to do just to get it out of the way officially. And never worry about it ever again, but at the same time, I don't wanna hunt for mice that gain a very beige shirt when you can barely tell if it's beige or light blue. No, thank you. Like, thanks, but no thanks. Ah. Oh, the Lotad scared me. My chicken with ramen noodles. I'm watching Record of Ragnarok. I'm feeling better. That's good. Poniard. Yoink. Heavy Slam. Oh, there's the Shinx right there. Oh, wait. No. Ariados is appearing in the wild. I don't think it's a time thing for Ariados, but like... Look. Can't be bothered. Anyhow, let us begin. Whee! Jeez. This is gonna get annoying. Oh, fun, there's a Lucario. Lurantis. Wait, I already have a Shinx caught? How do I already have a Shinx caught? Hello? Why do I have a caught Shinx? I don't remember catching a Shinx. Do I actually have a Shinx? Hold on. I don't remember catching a Shinx. Species. S. Search. When did... Huh? Was Shinx in the base game? Was it always in the base game? How did I get a Shinx before? I seriously do not remember. Oh well. Guess I did. Do I remember it? Absolutely not, but oh well. It is what it is. Yeah, no. Spinarak appears in the wild at any point of day. Why wasn't it appearing earlier? Ah. Spinarak. Okay, let's quickly go over here. Grab that. Tiny mushroom. Mushroom dance. Whatever could I mean? It means you've lived a life of sin. Ha 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 ha. Okay, where are the Shinx? Here they are. Hi. Look at these small lion cubs. God dang it, why'd you beat up a Bombardier? Now the rest of them are gonna come after me. Meow. Shinx Fang, Shinx Fang. Shinx Fang. Thank you, little Shinx, for appearing in front of me. Nyahaha. Okay. Okay, we're just gonna start beating up this giant group of them. Oh jeez. Just beat up the Shinx, please. Go for the Shinx, yes. Shinx. Shanks. Not shiny, not shiny. Just give me the berry. Thank you. Oh, that's a bug. I thought that was a rock. Whoops. Sorry, Charjabug. Didn't mean to run into you. Please. 40, 41, 42, 43. There's a Shinx right there, sir. 4, 45. Oh, jeez, that's an adult Shinx. That's a teenage Shinx. No. Seven. 48. 49. Burper. 51. Saw one over here. Yep. Four. 55. 56. 57. 58. 59. 60. Thank you. Alrighty. Now we're just gonna ride around. I'm not gonna do picnic just cause doesn't seem like it seems like everything's slanted. So I'm just not even gonna try bothering to find a perfect place for picnicking right now. So I'll just constantly load and deload. Yeah, we're gonna do it like this. Wah. While we're at it, let's grab this. Spinnerack thread. Alrighty. Hi, Bio. Okay, goodbye. Goodbye. Hee hee hee. Tee hee. No, don't frick me. Nyeh. But how are you doing, Bio? How's today? Doing good, just a bit tired. I see. I see. Also, how was Valorant? I saw that you were playing it through the Discord, like the Discord role thingies. How was the rant of Val? Stalker? Not a stalker. Okay, I was playing with Spider. Nice! Hope that the games were good. Should play Valo with me? Cool. You. When I have time, cause like right now it's sort of like it sort of is, but at the same time not really at the same time. Like getting close to finishing the first semester or first part of the semester. And then afterwards, it's only gonna ramp up more because I'm taking 3 classes next. Am I prepared for it? Maybe not. Maybe not. I don't know. Because, to be honest, I am dreading. Like, I got a paper done today for world history. It is the only paper that I have to write, so I'm happy about that. But it was a doozy. Hold on. Mainly because the way the teacher wanted us to write it was, because what we were supposed to do were, well, here's what we weren't supposed to do. We weren't supposed to use websites. We weren't supposed to use online articles. We weren't supposed to directly quote things. We weren't supposed to write what we read about. Instead, make it seem like we already knew the knowledge, but not make any reference to this. Pretty much make a summary of what the book was or what the points we took away from it. Where it's just like, if we're supposed to be doing research and we're having to cite the books we used, how can we not say what we learned from them or just debrief of what the book contains? Where it was just very much the thing of wanting us to write about it without us directly saying, hey, we learned this from the book. Instead of being like, from my own knowledge, due to the brush up of this book that has refreshed my knowledge, this is what this is supposed to be. And then it only became tougher because of the topics that we had to research. Like, there was a list of 20, but let me tell you this. When I was looking up books to read and quickly reading, skimming, and just looking at the summaries of the books, I found out one thing. Most of the books that I used pretty much used the same information and went over the same concepts with like 1 to 2 different variants. Outside of that, they were pretty much the same and just different words. So I was just like, because the one that I chose was about Egypt and how the pharaohs and gods, like what was the relation between the pharaohs and the gods. And let me just tell you this, on the library site I was using, the amount of books that I saw on there just titled Egypt was astounding. Like, not History of Egypt, Pharaohs of Egypt, Egypt Terrain, Egypt Biography, History of Egypt. No, all the books were, like, majority of the books were just named Egypt. Like, thanks. I really love Egypt by Joanna Crawford. Or Egypt by Dennis Slogan. What about Egypt by Mary Sue? Like, literally, it just felt like I was reading the same book, just with a different name as the author. It was just a look. But yeah, that was also another little frustrating thing the teacher sort of pushed us to do, slash forced us to do, is we had to actually look for books. Like, literally just stated, hey, you can only use, published books or articles taken from, like, professional journals and stuff like that, where it's like, it makes sense, but at the same time, it's just frustrating, because it's just like, just, yeah. It was just frustrating. But also to just be like, by the way, you can't use direct quotations or stuff like this to help further your, like, here's also the other thing that I just was just bewildered with, is it was supposed to be an argumentative essay. Yet during the whole thing, I'm just like, what am I arguing about? Like, because typically an argument has 2 sides. 2 different points that you're trying to argue. But the questions, they weren't argumentative questions. Like, just again, the topic that I was doing. What is the relationship between the pharaohs and religion? How do I... What argument is being formed from that? Like, what relationship does the pharaoh have with religion? Yes. And no. Like, yes, the pharaohs and religion have a relation. And then being like, no, they don't. It's just like, huh? Like, every single book that I read pretty much stated, like, hey, the Egyptians were one of the few, like, old world religions that were very religious. Like, their whole existence was religion. How do you make an argument against that? And it's literally just like my brain's just like, like, why is this an argumentative essay? Like, this is a research essay. Like, it's informative. It's supposed to be saying, like, this is what I learned, or trying to inform people. Why am I arguing that the Egyptians were religious, or that the pharaohs had any relation to religion? Like, literally, from what I've read so far, is, literally the pharaohs were seen as gods. They were pretty much represented by the god Horus and Osiris. Horus is whenever they're living, Osiris is when they die. Like, literally, two of the gods, the falcon-headed god Horus, and then Osiris, that is just a dead dude, they're both gods, but they represent the pharaohs. They are the pharaohs. Not even represent, they are the pharaohs. And it's just like, yeah, they're very much tied into religion because the people accept them as gods and goddesses. And another thing, they were given titles too. I can't pronounce the titles, but I can give, like, the rough translations of them, which the rough translations to them is God, good God, and great God. Every single thing that you could say to a pharaoh, or describe as a pharaoh, is God, good God, and great God. And even whenever you're talking about, like, the titles that they receive, two of them are quite literally, like, just literally two of them are titles that encompass Horus, that encompass pretty much just Horus and Osiris. Like, two of the pharaoh, like, titles they gain pretty much equates to godhood. It just, And then another thing, another way that the pharaohs were related to religion. What the heck, Spinnerack, calm down. It's not happy. Oh my god, never mind. I'd see why you're panicking. But yeah, another reason why they are related to the gods and religion is the fact that in some tomb depictions, like, a few of the pharaohs were drawn on the walls and depicted as, like, two beings. One as the actual pharaoh and the other being the Ka. And the Ka is pretty much a carbon copy of the pharaoh. Just when the pharaoh dies, that person, the Ka, soon becomes that person's messenger And once that they get past the few barriers and go into the afterlife, or what's presumed to be the afterlife, the Ka then becomes like essentially their servant, where they provide the pharaoh with water, food, and protection. So another thing, where it's just like, yes, they essentially gain a carbon copy of themselves that was given to them by the gods. And you want to know something else that relates to them with religion? The fact that the Egyptian people, thought that the coronation of each pharaoh was happening in heaven. That the pharaohs and the kings were pretty much being crowned before they were even born. And it's just But here's also the kicker. I had to have 5 citations, and I couldn't really reiterate the points, even though most of the points were just being reiterated in the books countless times. So I had to figure out how to pretty much write the different research things into different things. I do not see a point as to why we had to do this. Like, having a research paper, I understand needing to research, but the way that we had to research, I don't understand. Because the instructions were also unclear at the beginning, as typically with a research paper, you would give the citations at the very end. But the way that he wanted us to write it, we were using the citations as the headers for each paragraph. I don't understand why. Am I gonna complain? Yes, that's what I'm doing right now. Am I sorry about it? Absolutely not. I am just frustrated with how the paper is. Hee hee. Tee hee. Time to pet the good boy. No. Your school is weird. I agree. But I'm going through the pain so that I can just get the associate's degree for general education. It won't let you head pat. Oh no. Wait, have you redeemed it? And it's just not appearing? Or is it like still in the process of redeeming? Because if it's in the process of redeeming, that's sheesh. It's sucky. But, yeah. Just giving me the spinny. Hold on. There you go. If it wasted channel points, I did it for you. If it didn't, you get a free head pad then. But I'm numbing the hand, yeah. I am biting the hand. But yeah. We have the paper. Biting. I bite the hand so that it stops patting me. Yeesh. But yeah. Safe to say, I literally, like, the first 2 paragraphs, I was like, okay, I'm gonna try my best. And then as I got to the 3rd one, I'm just like, no, I don't care. I'm just phrasing this as if I learned it from the book, because that's literally what happened. I don't know how you want me to argue about something when there's not an argument being made, or I'm not arguing against someone. Kinky silver. No, what do you mean kinky? Excuse? I am biting them so that the head pats can stop. Keep your Cheeto dust infested fingers away from my actual mouth. I don't want them. Even if they look like Cheeto puffs, I ain't want them. Excuse? What? Fine. Not Cheeto infested. Cheeto dust infested hands, but Cheeto puffs are good. They are. It's just cookie crumbs, no Cheetos. Oh, I thought I was gonna say Doritos with how the hands are shaped. Keep those Dorito-shaped hands infested with the powder away from me. Your hands are built like the tortilla chips. But cookie crumbs. I don't want no sweetness. What kind of cookies, though? If they're snickerdoodle infested cookie crumbs, I'm gonna say a two-doodles. I'm gonna say toodaloo. Goodbye. Yeah. Have oatmeal, raisin, and white. To remove the white macadamia nuts, and you have good cookies. Oatmeal, raisin are the best cookies. But I don't want no oatmeal or raisins from your fingers. Eek. Yucky. Both of them. Ooh, oh, white macadamia. Oh, white chocolate with macadamia nuts. Okay. Give me the oatmeal raisin. Feed you still. No, don't feed me. Just hand it. Hand it over. Give. Give it. Oh, also have something else fun. Something else fun that happened before stream. I banned someone. I banned someone that was on Twitter. Well, I blocked someone on Twitter and banned them on my thing. You wanna know what else is fun? If that person ever chooses to come after me, I would be facing the wrath of 50,000 followers on Twitter. Hee hee. Pretty much VTuber drama where I'm just like, this person sucks. Pretty much the short end of the stick. VTuber was not happy that she wasn't being prioritized by an artist when she was only making monthly payments instead of a full payment. So she was being pushed to the side and her commission wasn't being worked on whenever the artist said it takes 1 to 6 months, and it took the longer end of the 6 months. To then the person complaining and being like, I should have been higher priority even though they didn't do full priority pricing. And then what they were supposed to get was one model for expressions and like an outfit. The artist was then so gracious enough to give them 16 expressions and like 2 to 3 outfits and a nude and an NSFW model. All for free, mind you. Where if the person was to actually charge them, it would have been about like $1,000 to $3,000. So like, yeah. And then that person had the audacity to call the other person out on Twitter, saying like this person was unprofessional, like the artist was unprofessional, they weren't doing these things, and then made the accusation of this person only gave me 2 outfits, 2 expressions, and 3 models. They messed up. When in actuality, if you look at what they've submitted, it was 3 files. 3 files where 1 contained the outfits, 1 contained the model, and 1 contained the expressions. And this was all because the rigger asked for it to be this way so that they could start rigging the stuff. Where something else that the person that was paying for the stuff was very accusatory was basically being like, why am I paying these prices for the rigger whenever I paid you for the full rigging and all this, when really it's, or like also accusing the person of being like, hey, like, you never gave me the information of like who the rigger is and all this. When if you look at their card for commissioning them as well, the rigger's name and @ on Twitter is both on the Twitter profile and the card. Good following to easily bully out everyone that comes after you. Yeah. But, yeah, pretty much the whole lesson became, like, this person has no reading comprehension because everything that they were complaining about and trying to bully the other artists into doing was all in their TOS. It was in their terms of service that the person either just flat out didn't read or were skipping over words because it inconvenienced them. So, yeah. And then this person decided to make a public post about it, trying to be the victim, and then suddenly deleted it, made a huge thread basically saying, like, hey, I've accepted the, like, I accept that I did wrong, basic, like, apology, like, PR apology of, like, I did bad, I am sorry, and pretty much, I don't think she actually apologized to the artist of what happened. I think it was just a thing of, like, she apologized to save face, but wasn't actually sorry. But then looking at the artist's side of the story and seeing everything that actually happened and transpired, a lot of other artists soon came out and said this was the same experience they had with this VTuber, and that VTuber also lied, or that they were the one that ghosted them or didn't make the payments in full. And so I was just like, I can safely say I am blocking and banning this person. I do not care if they decide to ever raid me. I am not ever following them. I am not ever letting them in this community or within my space. And if a few friendos are being, like, going to be friends with that person, I'm just gonna be like, hey, here's all the stuff that's about them, like, they're not a good person. Because another thing is, like, how I mentioned, they have 50,000 followers on Twitter. Yeah, they tried to pull the thing of, like, the story of, like, they didn't know how much power they had, or that their words would affect the community that much, where I'm just like, the moment you have, like, over 1,000 followers, that story and excuse should go out the window. Because it's just like, the moment you have that many followers, just sort of means that you have a big influence on people. Lag. Where it's like, at first, I would understand, like, if it's the first time ever, like, getting into an occasion where you now realizing how much power you had with your words and how it could affect your community, I would be like, okay, understandable. First time, learning experience, got it. But it's just the fact, you have 50,000 followers. Like, yeah, I don't know. I'm sorry if I'm ripping into a person and all that. But it's just like, I'll say it this way. I'm enjoying Twitter/X for the fact that people are just willingly throwing information out there of how they're not a good person. Or being able to see the Twitter threads of different dramas, seeing which side of the, like, both the sides of the stories, and then just coming up with, okay, well, there's these two people that both seem crappy, but this other person's more crappy. I don't want to be around them now. Like, thanks for outing yourselves. I'll go. You're not welcomed here. I don't have to confront or deal with them. Thank you. I do apologize to the people that actually did have to deal with them, that you had to go through it, but thank you for pulling out this side of the person. course, not to say that it's not just a one-time occurrence or that it was a bad day, but it's like, if I start reading and a lot of people can vouch for it and they're credible, I'm just gonna be like, okay, goodbye. But if it's like, it just seems more like hate or like just slamming on down on them, I'm just gonna be like, I'm just gonna move away from this. Both people seem crappy in the situation, but I don't know. But yeah, that's how my day was. How was everybody else's day? How's your day going, Fluffy? So I've just been completely zoned out. I honestly don't know if I've missed the shiny Shinx or not. I've been vibing, honestly. Nice. Nice. Da 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 da. Also, something else that I quote-unquote love about Twitter is the fact that I made a Twitter post about me going live today. Or like, that I was going live with shiny hunting. And the moment that I clicked back on Twitter, the post got liked by 3 separate graphic artists, accounts. Love that. Like, you can never go with just promoting yourself without graphic artist bots liking your posts. I would just, yeah. Although also something else that I've been looking at or like that was on my Twitter timeline earlier today too, were like VTuber hot takes, where one of them actually makes me consider like what I actually am. Because whenever I really think about it, it's like, I just say I'm a PNG tuber just simply because it's like, it's easy to just say that I'm that. But I'm also like, I don't really have any knowledge of like the VTuber culture. Like, I don't know the culture or the background behind VTubing and all that. Where it's really just the thing of like pretty much the hot take was there's a difference between like VTubers slash PNG tubers and people that just use an image as a persona. Where I'm like, I more so do use my image as a persona, as my character is just sort of a representation of myself, or like the self that I wanna be, and not so much or well, it was better phrased this way. A PNG tuber slash VTuber is a character a person's playing, whereas someone using a PNG model or picture is more so just I don't know, not a VTuber, if that makes sense. But they're just using an online persona, or they're just using their self in a more cartoon slash anime style, or in a way that they want to be perceived as, where they're still acting like themselves, not a different character. Where I'm just like, yeah, if that's the case, I'm just someone that uses I'm just an online character. In that regard, I'm not a PNG tuber or a VTuber. I'm just a person that uses an online avatar. Because I find it most convenient, and I honestly cannot entertain the thought of trying to play a character, because in that sense, I feel like I'm lying to people. And I would rather not lie to people. I would rather just be who I am and all that. Because there's also a thing of, like, once I start playing a character, it's going to become tiring to myself, because I'm just going to be like, once I start streaming, like, if I was to actually act like the character that pretty much this artwork is of, I'm, like, literally I would have to be talking like this. Hi everybody, I hope, no. Hi everybody, Silver hopes that everybody is having a good, great, amazing day. Silver is having an amazing day, Silver self. So how is everybody doing? Silver wants to know. Like, literally, this person, the way that I wrote him, he talks in the third person. I am not talking in the third person. Like, no. It gets annoying to me. It probably would get annoying to others. I understand that there are some people that probably do this. Whether it's in real life or in character, but I'm just like, I wrote him as third person. I have fun typing in third person as him in role plays and stuff like that. I don't want to speak in third person. No. Because it's going to get so confusing. Like, I can play Pronoun Among Us and be like, I saw he and she went with where, and where went with who, and who is down with and down. Like, I can articulate a sentence that way and make it so confusing that it doesn't make sense, but it makes sense to me. But I'm not talking about the third person because I'm talking about my character and not myself. And whenever I'm talking about the character and trying to figure out how to articulate the sentence to where it's talking about myself, I'm gonna just be a confusing mess because I'm just gonna be like, I'm talking about Lucas, but Lucas is supposed to be me. But Lucas isn't actually me because Lucas is way happier and is a coffee addict and talks in the third person where I'm not a coffee addict. I've cold turkey on coffee. I clearly talk in the first person and don't have as cheerful as vibes as him. Like, he's a bombshell of positivity who can't shut up. I'm someone that's really reclusive and introverted. I don't like talking to other people if I don't have to. I just like not lounging around, but I like sitting in calls and just listening to people. I don't really like talking to others. If I have to talk, then I will. Or if I start talking, it's because I have a reason to talk. I have a point to be made. And, like, the reason why I say it's because I have a point to be made is because the more and more I try to actually talk, the more I realize I literally can't talk if I see words or if I hear other people talking or stuff like that. Like, I literally just remain quiet because I'm waiting for other people to finish their conversation to continue my own. Where it's also the thing of, like, because parents sometimes do this, where it's, I start talking to them, and then all of a sudden their attention shifts to their phone, or they're reading something, they're looking at something, or someone else is starting to talk to them, where I'm like, I'm talking, and then they turn back to me and say, like, oh no, they're listening. But I'm just like, am physically seeing that they are distracted, or like it doesn't seem like they're actually listening, so I'm just like, I'm just gonna be quiet so that there's no distractions. where it's really just boils down to just how I talk. The moment I hear noise or I see something happening with the person, like they're looking at their phone or like quickly reading something, I'm just gonna be like, I'm not gonna continue talking. Like, I'm sorry, but like you being distracted is distracting me. And I don't feel like the conversation's being listened to, so I'm just like, I'm not gonna give any, like, I'm just not gonna give any effort into talking if it doesn't seem like you're giving any effort to listening. I don't know. But yeah, it's just, I probably just need to get out of, I'm like, get out of the habit, but I'm like, I don't think it's even a habit I can even break, or if it's even a habit, it's just literally, not physically, but like, mentally, and I guess a little bit physically, like, I just can't talk when people are distracted, or whenever I get distracted, because I'm noticing that their attention is going elsewhere. Or like earlier whenever I was talking to my mom about like just some of the stuff that I'm having to do in world history, she had this like banner with words that she was reading, and then suddenly was just being like, hey, read what the words are backward. And so I just remained silent for a little bit, and then she then covered herself with said banner with a bunch of words, and I'm like, I could literally not talk because my brain was reading the words, and I was like, are you... Not are you. It was more of my brain was trying to read the words and be like, this takes priority now. Clearly this is something that they want to be seen, or this is what they're trying to say. But then it's, in actuality, it's like, that's not true. It's, you're just being distracted. So I was just like, I closed my eyes, looked away, and was just being like, showing that I'm not talking until that's away, because that's distracting. Part of my brain is also being like, that self-diagnosing doctor, where it's like, you probably have ADD or ADHD because of literally unable to talk when there's a distraction. But it really just boils down, like, cause there's clear indicators of, or like clear things that I know that just like makes me unable to actually speak, and it's just when people are talking, or like even if someone, like if I'm talking, then someone interrupts me, I'm just like, I'm gonna shut up. Cause it's just like, yeah, like, clearly what I'm trying to say and perceive and just ask is not important to that other person, so it's not a priority, so I'm just not gonna say it. Like, sorry. That, or like whenever someone's just like grabbing something and looking at it, or like moving around, or pretty much having two conversations going at the same time, and it's just like, all in all, it's, if I notice a person's distracted, I just literally can't talk. Because I feel like I can't make the point. Or that they're listening and perceiving what I'm trying to say. And now that I speak now, I'm like, yeah, something else I'm noticing is how I keep reiterating a point. and just re-saying everything over and over again. Where I'm just like, at this point, I'm not even gonna apologize about it. Because it's also just how I am. Do I know why that is? Probably. Because I need to constantly repeat what I say over and over again, because sometimes the people I'm talking to aren't actually listening and are distracted and need me to repeat what I say again. Where a lot of times it's actually very frustrating, because a lot of times, or some of the times, it's whenever I'm asking a question or venting, and then they just suddenly are like, hey, can you repeat that? Or like, they're not taking what I'm saying seriously, so I'm just like, the one way that I can only think of having people take it seriously is just by reiterating it and just saying it over and over again, being like, hey, I am feeling this way because of X, Y, and Z, and because of X, Y, and Z, I'm feeling this way. And by the way, I'm feeling this way because this thing is making me super stressed out, and I'm not enjoying it because this thing is being required to be done in X, Y, Z. And by the way, X, Y, and Z, it's just so frustrating and annoying. And I'm just like, here, I am feeling this way. You cannot miss what I'm saying. Here it is, multiple times. And I probably also do it because, a lot of times I try, it's the thing of I try to make my points clear, and sometimes it's not even a thing of like, hey, I'm asking for help, can you give me a few pointers or stuff like that on how to do these things? Half the time it's just me needing to vent. Because frustration. But then sometimes me being frustrated and trying to just vent and say how I feel ends up in frustration, where the people sometimes feel the need to just tell me what to do, or what the issue is, or what the solution is, or stuff like this, or just starts getting pissed off that I'm getting pissed off. Or that I'm having trouble trying to state what the problem is when I've tried stating it in multiple different ways. And then just being like, get over it. Or I'm just like, I physically can't because I'm frustrated. And I just need someone to talk to, but you are the person that is decided to talk to, but you are not actually being helpful because I just want to talk to you. I never stated I wanted a solution. The only thing I needed was someone to talk to. If I wanted an answer, I would pose it in a question. Did I pose it in a question? No. I don't understand why you are getting so pissed off and yelling at me to essentially just give me a solution when I'm not asking for a solution. When I probably already have figured out a solution, it's just a thing of I need to let off some steam. Or just to be told it is alright. Or that things are okay. Not to be scolded and yelled at. Or just essentially be told, get over it. That is not the things that I want, that AI want to hear / what I need to hear during that time. But it's okay, I guess. I can just deal with it. It's just belief. And honestly, I'm sort of happy I'm not a loud person. Because at that point, if I was a loud person, trying to just state how I feel, that would be taken even less seriously, or be seen as dramatic. Whereas the quiet kid / quiet person, I could just think of what is wrong, and not actually have to vocalize it. Oh yeah. Also, I apologize that it sort of went into trauma dumpy area. My brain's just sort of smooth right now, and it's just like, I'm just gonna talk just to talk. Where we talk about and what happens, I don't know, honestly. Because I'm not really thinking before I speak. I'm just speaking because I can. But yeah, it's dumb. Dumb, dumb, dumb. But yeah. Ultimately, the reasons why I don't really like talking to people or asking for help or any of that, because I internally just think it is gonna be the response of just like, don't care or grow up or giving a solution or getting angry and pissed off and scolding and pretty much just being like, I don't know what's wrong with you, please stop doing this. Wah. Hehe. Da 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 da. Oh! Hi! The boy! Or the girl? What are you? The girl! Hi! Yay! Hold on. Wow. Johnny Shinks on screen! Woo! You're getting a quick ball. Whoa. Get caught. Haha. I don't care if the Pokeball doesn't match. I use quick ball. Look at it. Let me really quickly save. No! Ah. Oh, we actually got to see the sparkles. Woo. Oh no, run away. Shinx, please. Please, run away, Shinx. Let's swap Pokemon. Iron Hands. Please be slap the Shinx. Slap it around. The reliable partner. Run. No. Haha. Why do they just run? Why are you like this? Hi. Why are you like this? Wrong thing. This. Ah. Boxes. Honestly, I don't know why I already have you though. But yeah, I'll sort. When I get a lot of these shinies, I will actually start sorting through them. So yeah, ooh. Boop, 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 boop. Do I feel like going for something else today? Let's remain here, but no, Let's go forward today. Sudowoodo. Mystery. Let's go up there. God freaking dang it. Go there. Oh, there's a jingling. My freaking god. Can you not climb? Climb. Thank you. Oni Mountain. Eek. Freaking god. Climb. Thank you. Miraidon. Just climb. Please. I know you use your claws. Thank you. Jiminy Christmas. Just Just use your freaking claws. Spoink. Shingling. Geodude. Oh, it's probably gonna be, like, what? A Geodude outbreak. Oh. Oh, where is it? Hello? Is it in a cave? Uh-oh. Is there a cave nearby? What the heck? Screw you, Glimmet. Also, really quickly. Yo. Let's actually look here. What? No. What Pokemon are around? Choodle. Magikarp. Haunter. Rockruff. Tarantula. Oh, there were Tarantula ones? Okay. Actually, really quickly, let's actually... Let's knock a few of these out just to see what sort of raid it even is. Slugma. Anything? No. Let's check. Like Cleffa, maybe? Chingling. Let's check you. Bronzor, we fought. You, we fought. You, we fought. Oh. Hang on. Oh. Oh. Wait, is this where we're supposed to be? No. Maybe? Maybe. Maybe? No. God dang it. We're gonna get ambushed by Nekins. Oh no, we're not. Oh. Go down more. What? Hi, Barboach. Why am I running into everything? Got updated. Ooh. Where am I? What am I doing? Why am I around here? What's going on? Just trying to find what the Pokemon is. Don't you freaking dare slant it. Down the hole. Oh, Spinob! Oh. Did I find out what... It was Cleffa. Okay. I had a feeling it was that Pokemon, but... no thanks. I'm not gonna hunt it right now, because I honestly don't know where it's at. So let's instead do that. Oh, it's already almost 12. Ooh. 12 in the morning. Woo. Okay, Kricketune, Fomantis, and Shinx. And over here, it is Growlithe, Clauncher, Mystery, Wattrel. No, not Wattrel. The evolution of Wattrel and Gyarados. Okay. I mean, I don't really want to hunt. Oh, hi. Hi, buddy. Not enough space. What do you mean? There's more than enough space. You kidding me? Hi, Swizzy. Alright, screw this. Go over here, despawn them. Do that. Go for Swinub. Let's go for Swinub. Because why not? We're here. Swinub's gonna be an easy find. It's also a bummer that Swinub changed from like the blue it was in like Gen 2 games to like this green. Like, it's not a bad green, but it was such a vibrant blue. Yo-ho. Not. I think this cave just has Swinub in it, so let's go 0 for that. We're gonna just start knocking them out. Counting them. 1. I'll just start knocking them out. That's actually a way better way than just riding around and despawning and respawning. Really. Might be slower, but at the same time, at least we're spawning more. Keeping a count. Where are you going? Can I actually spawn a picnic in here? No. Okay. Smeargle has a beard. Woo. Okay, so it seems like they spawn in that... Okay, yeah. Oh, it's like... Oh, it's like the infinite printer thing. Method thingy. Okay. so they spawn in that corner. Got it. Alright. Start knocking a few of these out now. Whoa. 2, 3. Hey, where are you going? No, no, no. Da 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 da. Funny. Woo. Boo, boo, boo. Righty. Boop 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 boop. Would it actually be faster to run out and run back in? Yeah, but at the same time, I don't want a chance that I miss the shiny. So this way might just be a bit better. Tedious, yes, but ensuring that we don't miss the shiny, sort of better. Yeah, there's not enough space, so I can't picnic reset. How much I want to. Winter pigs going extinct. Hee. We've only fought 53 of them. I don't know what you mean by making them go extinct. But hi, Pichu, how are you? We're just trying to find the winter piggy. The bluest of the pigs. Good. That's good. I'm okay. I'm still living, so that's a plus. We found shiny Shinx earlier, so I'm happy about that. But yeah, we're trying to find the Swinub. Cause I just found the cave where Swinub was. With shiny Shinx too, nice! That is awesome! Shiny Shinx, whee. Okay. Time for the slaughter. I would love to do the picnic resets for this, to be honest, but it's not allowing me to picnic in here, so that's fun. So you could call him Purple Guy. Why? Why Purple Guy? Because he's the man behind the oh my god. No. Just no. The Swinub's making a beeline for me. Help. I'm not your daddy. I'm not your dad. Let's just do it this way for a little bit. Why not? Let's go outside. Let's go outside from our dark cave and see if there's any other Pokemon that are a different color. Got Pokemon Violet? Yep. I'm a Pokemon Violator. I'm a Violator. With Pokemon Violet. You can sue me for trying to make a pun. Bleak. The little pitter-patter of Swinub. Oh, you're not shiny. Although Bonsly, I remember trying to find where you frickin' were so that I could shiny hunt you. I'm not gonna do that anytime soon now, though. Sort of just been appeared. They're curious little beings. Curiosity killed the cat. Or better yet, the swine. I'm not sorry. They saw too much. They had to go. Just like these ones. They saw the slaughter. We just need the frosty fella to appear. They're all dying. How else do you think we're supposed to make ham sandwiches in this game? Lechonk can't be the only source of, like, pork. If that was the case, Lechonk would be, like, no longer exist. It'd be extinct. We gotta have some other kind of pork around. What better than a Swinub? Also, I may or may not be shiny hunting Swinub because I've recently stitched a shiny Swinub. Shiny Mudbray? I haven't yet. It's one of the things that I should be playing this game a lot more or something like that, but I just don't. Like, I like shiny hunting, but at the same time I'm just like, I don't shiny hunt enough. And even when I do shiny hunt, half the time I'm just like, I don't want to do it. Like, I do like 5 encounters and I'm just like, I'm done. I've done my encounters for the day. Have I found the shiny yet? No. But that's just because I don't want to be patient. But I mean, I might try to shiny hunt a Mudbray one day. I just don't know when. But it will happen. Pretty easy to spot the difference. Yeah, I know it is. Easy. I guess it would just have to be the thing of trying to find the best spot to hunt Mudbray. Just cause it's like, there's a lot of Pokemon that don't have an isolated, like just one isolated spot. Like this Swinub hunt, for example, where the only thing that spawns is Swinub. Where the other routes have, like, it can spawn a multitude of different things. Even if you use the specific type sandwich, it's like there's 2 to 3 other ground types here too. So you could get the thing you want, or you could get the thing you don't want. How about thee? And you're just sitting there in appreciation being like, thanks, I never asked for this. Sort of like when you're looking in the Lost and Found, you're like, oh, my sense of dignity. I didn't realize that still existed. I don't want it anymore, but good to know it's still there. Kind of like that. You don't realize where it is until you actually find it, and then you're just like, huh, this is nice. Da, 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 da. Hey, how, have you been shiny hunting recently, Pichu? Or found any shinies recently? Ba-da-ba-ba. Da-da-da-da-da. Oh. What are you? Aracuda, you're not shiny. Okay. She's a shiny hunter, but I did find 3 shiny Charmanders. Ooh, nice! In, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet? Or, like, what, game did you find them in? Pokemon Go, but I'm sending them to Pokemon Home. Ah, nice! Nice. Honestly, it's been a while since I found a shiny in Pokemon Go, but to be honest, I don't really use Pokemon Go. I don't use it. few Pokemon from Gen 9 recently. Ooh, nice. Yeah, I heard, like, Quaxley was added. Hello, Duck. The best starter Pokemon ever. Or best water type starter ever. Hey, stay away from me. Don't sniff. No, don't sniff me or my Miraidon. We are the no sniff zone. No, Are you one of the people that actually like the feet pics on OnlyFans? Is this why you're so excited? I have shoes on. If you're interested in Miraidon's manicure, we're leaving. Like, sorry. Speaking of fear. Oh, feet? Uh-oh. What? Who took your feet, Pichu? Who dare have done something to the feet? Okay, we're gonna let them spawn in. After walks barefoot, Huh? Is that an actual feature? I... Oh god, they're surrounding me. One of them knows my usual spot. No, don't sniff. No. Leave me be. No. Oh god, that one shared the postings to their friend. Ah. Help. About it than I do. I see. And that's sort of odd if it's like... You find more barefoot. Show your feet to the Swinub. Oh jeez. How do I remove my shoes? Is that even an option? No, I can't take them off. Of course, I have that shiny boost of, like, no shoes on right now in real life. Really hate feet lovers. Yeah, well, I mean, I would be concerned if they actually allowed it and was specific towards the feet lovers. Because, our character seems to be, like, between 10 and 12. I don't think it would be smart to show off a child's feet. Like, maybe some of the teachers, it could be nice, but I don't think it would be good for our character to have bare feet. It's weird, yeah. some of the teachers, I mean, you don't know. They might have an OnlyFans. They might have an OnlyFans. Though also, knowing the Pokemon world, they probably have OnlyFans in Pokemon. Here's also... Oh god, there's more of them now. Why are you referring your friends to them? Your Pokemon. No. But yeah. Here's also a sad thing. I feel like if there was OnlyFans in Pokemon, the site would be littered with, like, Pokemon like Gallade, Gardevoir, Machamp, Machoke. All the humanoid Pokemon, all their feet would probably be on it. And the sad thing is, I'm not wrong. I regret this conversation. I mean, I could make it way worse and say, like, knowing how the general population wants to smash Vaporeon, there probably is a lot of stuff of Vaporeon on OnlyFans. If Pokemon had OnlyFans. There would be a lot of stuff on Vaporeon. For no reason. Other to just smite and scar everybody that decides to pick up OnlyFans. Mr. Mime on there. Ask about Vaporeon. Here's the thing, I don't understand Vaporeon either. I'm just like, I know that apparently Vaporeon wants to be smashed, but I'm like, I don't know why. And I want to keep it that way. I don't want to know why people want to smash a Vaporeon. Because quite frankly, it's weird. Yeah. I don't know. It's weird. And like, here's the real thing. Here's the real thing. If you had to smash a Pokemon, here are the, like, at least for me, the acceptable answers. That being, sadly, Gardevoir and Machamp. Literally two of the most humanoid Pokemon that could literally pass off as humans. That just, there's no other answers. If you try to answer anything else, it will be highly questioned. And I'm also like, I don't care if your things are, if you're interested in twinks, there's not, well actually, technically Inteleon's a twink body, but Inteleon's a gecko, so no. The only acceptables. So it would transform into me. So, but you're saying is you want to smash yourself. Okay, understandable. Got it. And I have something in my eye. It's annoying me. Literally that, like, animation meme of, like, why are you blinking so much? I have something in my eye. Here, let me get it out. Oh, thank you. I don't want to die. Sir was blinking at me in Morse code. Is it because your date is a freak? No. Very well, sir. Bon appetit. Can we change the topic? Sure. The freak in this situation? I mean, if you can't love yourself, how in the hell can you love anybody else? Am I right? Whether that be a freaky kind of love or just yeah. Freaky in the sheets? Or just going on a casual date? Or whatever. I can't think of rhymes right now. Rhyming's not a thing. The only kind of rhyme that I can think of on the top of my head right now is the ghost type gym leader. Hi Rhyme, how are you? I still have to fight all the gym leaders. Once again, I just don't wanna. I'm not interested in playing the game. I'm only interested in shinies. I don't... Why are they coming towards me? Stop sniffing me. Go away. Pichu, help. They're smelling me. No, don't be happy. Go away. Go away. Leave me alone. Leave me be. No, that was smelling from afar. Leave me be. More of them to smell you. Why? Don't smell me. You kept slaughtering them. You know what? You know what? I'm coming for their fathers and brothers and their mothers. Where's your Mamoswine right now, Where's the Mamoswines? Get over here. So aren't Swina blind? Maybe? Good question. Let's read the Pokedex. See if anything... To find and dig up food, it sometimes discovers hot springs. Aw. If it smells something enticing, it dashes headlong off to find the source of the aroma. Uses the tip of its nose to dig for food. Its nose is so tough that even frozen ground possesses no problem. Food for... This Pokemon occasionally roots out hot springs. If it smells something enticing, it dashes for it. Discovers hot springs, mushrooms. It loves eating mushrooms that grow under dead grass. It also finds hot springs. Snout on the ground to find and dig up food. It sometimes discovers hot spring. Why is it not a water type at that point? Like, holy moly. It is very capable of finding hot springs. Can I get a soggy Swinub? Like, I want a regional variant where I get an aquatic Swinub. I want an aquatic nub. Yes, please. Swinub regional variant next gen. Maybe. Maybe. But, like, it's also surprising that most Pokemon you would think would get, like, re-edited or, like, new Pokedex entries or stories. Yeah, no, Swinub got the same 3, like, in rotation. Literally, it got, if it rubs its snout on the ground to find and dig up food. It sometimes discovers hot springs. If it smells something enticing, it dashes headlong off to find the source. And then if it uses the tip of its nose to dig for food. Its nose is so tough that even frozen ground possesses no problem. Literally, that is most to all of its Pokedex entries throughout the gens. It's either that or, like, just, it's... No! Help. 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 That one's close. Ah! God dang it. Oh, one's going to the light. Goodbye. It went to the light. Oh, god freaking dang it. It loves you. No, they're all sniffing me. I didn't kill it. Uh-oh. Oh, gee. Help. Please. Help. No. I'm trapped. Excuse me. Thank you. It deserves death. Because it's not shiny. Go away. Go away. Of every ball out of spite. No. Don't wish that upon me. I don't deserve that. No. No, if you say that, I hope Yuna's pigtails get pulled. The swine-up harassment is illegal. It is. Please. I don't have mushrooms. I don't have shrooms. Please, let me pass through. I'm not carrying shrooms. I may look dead, but I'm not dead grass. Therefore, I have no shrooms. Like Mr. Potato Head's arms out of its hole. Oh no. I knew it. Yuna is wearing a weave. It's a wig. It's a weave. Time to snatch it. I also got really concerned. I thought that, a swine-up just went in me. But I was just seeing things. It was just Miraidon. God dang it. Move. They're extensions. Ah, I see. Nice. Ah! And me. No! Shush. No. Shut. Shut the mouth. No. I'm calling Officer Jenny on you. No. Call Officer Jenny on all the perpetrators that want to smash Vaporeon. That too. No. Just them. Just the Vaporeon lovers. But yeah. Here's another thing with Pokemon. Do we even think / discuss about how they're making humanoid, like, a lot more humanoid, Pokemon that very much seem like furry bait? Like, Incineroar, Inteleon, Quaquaval. And I guess, actually not I guess, just, yeah, Gardevoir, Gallade, Surledge, Armarouge, Pangoro. Just any bipedal creature that, for whatever reason, either needs a feminine body or a muscular, like, just to be very muscular and shredded. Pokemon as pocket monsters, not furry bait. Yeah, like, I guess thanks for making furry bait and making Pokemon that are animals seem like actual ugh. At least we got Skeledirge. Yeah, Skeledirge is safe. Well, well, he... I can't even really say that they're safe, because it's just like, I honestly don't know. Like one always says, if it exists, there's probably a certain page for it somewhere. I don't want to think about that. People are nasty. That's really what it boils down to. People are nasty. And if there is something of Skeledirge, it really brings down to the question of, like, why do you want to screw a reptile? Why do you want to screw a gator? If you try to screw a gator in real life, it's chomping you in different pieces. Going to the paper shredder, yes. But, like, why do you wanna bang a gator or a crocodile? If you try to do that in real life, you're not living. Like, it's gonna take more. Like, it's gonna take all of you. Just not in the way that you want. But it's gonna take you all. And at that point, once it starts taking a little bit of you, you'll start regretting and be like, I actually don't like gators. Or crocodiles. Please have mercy on me. I swear I won't do this ever again. Or we'll all just look at that person with skepticism, being like, mm-hmm. And, how do we believe that, since the reason why you're in this position is because you were nasty and looking into this stuff? See? Could be worse. I don't want to think about it being worse, though. That's the thing. I don't want to think about... Look at Minior. What do you do with a comet? Excuse? No. No. It's a space rock. No. Why do people gotta be nasty at times with Pokemon? Just no. Why? Why did Pokemon have to be fetishized? Sakura inside too. Yeah, and here's the thing. If Minior is a core form, if it's out of it for too long, it dies. It dies. So just why? Just why? Just why? No. Minior, don't. It dies? I believe so. I believe that's what its Pokedex entry is. Hold on. I mean... Pokedex. National Dex. Gen 7. Minior, where are you? Minior, 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 Minior. Oh, it's already 12. Ooh. There you are, Minior. Oh, yeah. If its core stays exposed, it will soon die off. It's possible that it may survive if it's put into a Pokeball quickly enough. Yeah, it dies if it's in core form for too long. Yay. Just yay. Surprisingly, yeah, it's depressing. I mean, it's sort of the same with Flababy, too. It, like, Pokemon just really, like, Nintendo and Game Freak just like to give, like, the most cute creatures very depressing backstories. Like Flababy. If you remove its flower, or it gets destroyed, or like just something happens to its flower, if you don't get another one of it, it dies as well. Or Annihilape, where it literally is a Primeape that died from anger. And then, let's not get started on some of the Ghost-type Pokemon, where they're kidnappers, murderers, and sometimes just lost souls that were once human, but turned into Pokemon because they died. Don't worry, Swinub, you're not one of the Pokemon. At least I don't think so. Your Pokedex entries don't suggest that you die or anything. But there is a different kind of pig that does. Looking at you, Spoink. Looking at you, Spoink, that apparently needs to constantly have CPR with your tail. And the moment you stop having CPR with your tail, you die. Swinubs are sweet little beans. They're toe sniffers. What do you mean? Spoink dies after it stops bouncing? Yeah. Every time it bounces, that's essentially its heart beating. Hold on. Let me find Spoink's entry. Because, yeah, that's pretty much it. Spoink, every time that Spoink bounces, that's it beating its heart. If it stops bouncing, it flatlines. Yeah. It apparently dies if it stops bouncing about. It carries a pearl from Clamperl on its head. Oh. Wait a minute. Hang on. Spoink steals the pearl from Clamperl. AKA the actual Pokemon in it? Okay, never mind. Spoink deserves to die. Because it's quite literally taking a different Pokemon hostage. It's taking Clamperl's head and putting it on its own head. Actually, that actually begs the question, though. If that's Clamperl, like, Spoink kills Clamperls. Yeah. So, there in case, Spoink actually deserves to have have to constantly bounce to survive. Because it's a murderer of Clamperls. But here's another thing. Shiny Spoink has a black pearl on its head. If it's supposed to be Clamperl, wouldn't it have made sense for it to be yellow? Oh, yeah, here's another entry of Spoink. It bounces constantly, using its tail like a spring. The shock of bouncing keeps its heart beating. So, yeah. It, quite literally, it uses CPR with its tail on itself. That is sad. But now learning that it murders Clamperls just to have a cute pearl on its head, I don't have as much sympathy for it. Like, yeah, we all wanna have pearls, like pearl necklaces and stuff like that, but we don't need to murder the Clamperls. Like, we just don't. Like, they didn't do anything wrong. Spoink's pearl was a dead Clamperl, so that's something that I'm sort of was thinking, but it's like, ooh, that's sort of dark. If you think about it, yeah. It's like, it's also weird where it's like, a lot of people are, like how sometimes I've complained about this game being like, it's too easy and all that, and people are like, yeah, because it's made for kids. But then when you look at some of the Pokedex entries, and like a few of their designs, like a Pokemon designs too, it's literally like, are you sure it's made for kids? Because these Pokedex entries are dark. And unless they're suggesting that Nintendo and Game Freak's trying to make furries with the designs. I don't actually think this is made for children. Because again, why do we need a muscular cat? Why do we need a twink gecko? Just why? Why do we need all these things? They're not needed. They're not necessary. God dang it, sign up. But just, yeah. Like, some aspects of Pokemon, I can understand. Other aspects, I'm just like, this clearly has some intention behind it. That's not for kids. Manga is extremely dark. Oh no. Wait, doesn't one of the Pokemon manga have, like, child pornography in it? Or something like that? Like, I remember, like, it was just, like, it was one of those weird videos of, like, top 10 things you didn't realize, like, about Pokemon. And then one of them was, like, one of the old, like, very old Pokemon manga where apparently the main character was shown to not have pants on, like pants or underpants, and it's just like who did that? Like who did that? Yeah, yeah, unless I'm mistaking it for something else, like a different, like, person that did that, but I'm like, I am fairly certain from one of the random videos that I was just scouring through of, like, top 10 random things you didn't know about this. There was a manga of essentially a child without any clothes on the lower regions. There's different versions for each generation. I believe it... Like, I don't know. I think it probably was Gen 1 or Gen 2. One of the two. But yeah, that... It's... Like, that is... It's a thing of, like, I'm ashamed to know that fact. And disgusted that I know that. And the fact that it actually happened. Or at least I think it was for Pokemon. If it wasn't Pokemon, I'm still disgusted that I know it's for something. But I want to unlearn that fact. So do I. I want to too. But it also just brings the question of, like, what disgusting person at Nintendo and Game Freak or whoever wrote that manga, what else have they written? And is it of similar nature? Because if so, that is very concerning. And should we, like, where is he? Where is he or she? Where is this person? Because if they're still in the industry after what they did, that is very concerning. Or actually, not... Okay. Actually, not the fact that someone drew it, but... the fact that someone drew it, and it became official merch, by it being an official manga, meaning that someone approved of it within Nintendo and Game Freak, which then brings the question of, like, how many people actually knew of that? And if, like, the higher-ups knew about it, and if they knew about it, then it's just like, which higher-ups greenlit it? Because if it was all of them, that is very disappointing. If it was only one of them, there's at least hope for some of them. Just not the person that greenlit it. But again, if they all greenlit it, it's just... why? Just why? I don't understand. You're nasty. But yeah, it's also a thing of, I don't even remember what video it was, because it's like, I don't even know how old it is, because I'm just like, I saw it like whenever I was in middle school, I think, roughly around that time age, so... How old would you be for 6th grade? Like, 10, between the age range of 10 and 11 through 12, so like 8 to 10 years ago is when I saw that video. So just gonna have to recheck my Kanto volumes now. I'm terrified. Yeah. Though it's like, it seemed like very old school, like, like, right on, I believe, like, I don't, if, like, the Kanto manga has, like, Pikachu as the main thing, I think it was whenever it was Clefairy. When Clefairy was the mascot. So those manga. Like that old. That far back. So if you have Kanto volumes where it's like Pikachu's the main one, it's not that one. So you should be good. But if it's Clefairy as the main protagonist Pokemon, that's where it's concerning. That's where it might start get concerning and where it might actually be. But at the same time, it could have also just been, like, here's the thing, I don't fully remember. I'm just like, I know it was Kanto. I know it had Clefairy as the mascot because the Clefairy was on the page with the child with no pants. But I'm like, I don't know if it was, like, official. Because if it was, nasty. Or if it was a draft. Like a rough draft of it, or something that they might have originally planned, but it was cut content. So, yeah. I don't know. Again, I would love to unlearn this fact. But to be honest, there's many things I would love to unlearn and unsee. Especially the things that one quote-unquote friend decided to show me. The many different things he decided to show me. Just... All I'll say with that one friend is apparently he liked gore. And I don't. But apparently I was deemed fit to send gifs and videos of disgusting stuff. Disgusting and racist stuff, actually. Where, especially when I decided to not decided, but when I kept setting a border, he just was like, why? I don't understand why. And I'm just like, I do not want any of this stuff because it's gross. It is gross to watch and gross to listen to. And I don't want to hear it. I'm sorry, but just know you can leave me alone. Go RPS, my traumatized lass. Hope you have a good night. Thanks. I might actually just head off for the night too, because it is nearly 1 in the morning. It is 1 in the morning. Well, 15 minutes from 1. So, wah. Bada bada ba. Do I feel like rating today? I don't know. What is rating? I honestly don't know what rating is. Rating is Raid Shadow Legends. Woo. Wow, wow, wow. Yeah, no, I'm gonna just be done for tonight, so good night, everybody. Hope you all have a good, great, amazing rest of your day and night, so bye-bye.